Will he ever get to bring Sean home? Today is a crucial day for David Goldman, the American father fighting to get his son back from Brazil. We're going to hear from him in a moment. But first, the latest from NBC's Andrea Mitchell. Andrea, good morning.
Good morning, Meredith. Today, Brazil's Supreme Court will meet to consider this complicated legal case. Yet another turn in a seemingly endless quest of one man to be reunited with his son.
He seemed tired. He seemed a little bit nervous.
On Wednesday afternoon, David Goldman was able to meet with his 9-year-old son, Sean, for several hours.
Wants to laugh, wants to be happy like any child deserves.
This week has been an emotional roller coaster for Goldman. Monday night, he flew to Brazil after a federal judge ordered that he be allowed to take his son home. That would have ended a 5-year legal struggle to get the boy back to the United States. But Tuesday, Brazil's Supreme Court intervened, putting Sean's return to his father in limbo again.
It doesn't make any sense. It's disgusting. I'm tired. I'm holding in my anger. And I will not give up.
In 2004, Goldman's wife took Sean to visit her family in Brazil. Once there, she suddenly divorced, remarried, got pregnant, and then died in childbirth. The boy's stepfather kept him in Brazil. So Wednesday, David was in his hotel room with a suitcase full of toys.
I was looking to get things that it would take us time to do. He loved these puzzles.
Apprehensive about today's court fight ahead and planning his visit with Sean.
We could focus on the game to ease any type of awkwardness, because, again, who knows what's being said to him.
In Washington, David continues to have extraordinary U.S. government support. State Department spokesman P.J. Crowley.
But U.S. Embassy officials continue to work with the family and will meet with Brazilian attorneys and Mr. Goldman's attorney to learn next steps in the legal process.
New Jersey Congressman Chris Smith.
The Lulu government has failed to honor its commitments under international law. And because of that, a son has been deprived of his father, and a father has been deprived of his son. That's unconscionable.
When the court meets today, it is expected to rule only on a technicality. So despite international treaties that U.S. officials say entitle David Goldman to custody of his child and an appeals court ruling in his favor, a happy ending is still not assured. Meredith.
Andrea Mitchell, thank you. David Goldman is in Rio de Janeiro this morning. Good morning to you, David.
Good morning, Meredith.
David, as it stands now this afternoon, the Brazilian Supreme Court will decide once and for all who gets custody of your son, Sean, his stepfather in Brazil, or you. Are you emotionally prepared, David, for today's ruling?
Well, there's a couple things. First of all, I wouldn't know if I'd consider him a stepfather, as the judge in the federal court said that my son was now in the hands of a second abduction. And we were still legally married in America when she absconded with my son and fled here. And the marriage here is not recognized in America. The other part is I'm not exactly sure what the Supreme Court will rule, because this public political party petitioned them saying that The Hague in general is unconstitutional to Brazilian law, and also cited some aspects of my case. So I'm not certain if the Supreme Court is just going to say The Hague is unconstitutional and never send any children back, or if they're going to say on this 11-judge panel in the Supreme Court that The Hague is constitutional and let my case proceed within the court system. I'm not sure on how they are going to rule, and I just found this out last night as well.
So help me out here, David. You mean that they would not be ruling today whether or not you can take your son home immediately?
Correct. They may just say the Hague Treaty is constitutional to Brazilian law. Let the proceedings remain where they are within the courts and go back up the channels of appeals or not appeals and see what happens. Or they may say, yes, Sean is held here and has been held here wrongfully since 2004, return him immediately. Or they may say The Hague is not constitutional according to Brazilian law, and we will never return a child. Thank you for all the children that you've been returning to Brazil over the years.
You saw Sean yesterday afternoon after being told that he had been with a psychologist earlier in the morning because he was so distraught. Do you know that if that is true? And how did your son seem to you?
I don't know if that was true. I do know that I did show up to visit him and he wasn't there, and finally that was the reason that we were given. And he was, to me, the same as he was towards the end of the visits. And as it's clearly stated in the expert reports by 3 court-appointed psychologists, referenced by the public prosecutor and the judge, is not in a good emotional state over there with the environment that he's in. And it's very, very sad.
Does he understand that this decision will come down today? Does he know what's going on?
Actually, at that point in time, I don't believe anybody knew. I don't believe they knew to tell him that if they are telling him everything. So at that point, building Lego figures and just trying to enjoy our precious moments that we have together.
All right, David Goldman, we will be watching to see that decision this afternoon along with you. Thank you so much for your time this morning.
Thank you, Meredith. I hope this is over. I hope today is the day.
All right, David, so do we. Thank you very much. And you can see more about David's battle to bring Sean home on Dateline Friday at 10, 9 Central Time, right here on NBC.